Hello everybody and welcome to the Aces Loaded podcast. My name is Zack Bayrouty. It's great to be with you once again as we are back at Greater Nevada Field. Our last episode we had to do on the road at Sutter Health Park in Sacramento, but we're back at Greater Nevada Field and in the midst of a 12-game homestand right now. So it's great to be here at the ballpark and have 100% capacity. We have all the fans that want to be here able to be here, and I think that's been a goal that this team has had for a long time, obviously going back to last year, and it was a long process, but we're finally here. And in this episode, we're going to talk with Aces President Eric Edelstein about that, about what transpired with the Washoe County health officials and all others involved to get us to this point where now we are at 100% capacity at Greater Nevada Field. I can tell you it's been electric in the ballpark. Even when it wasn't at 100% capacity, it felt like the crowd was especially lathered up. I think people have a lot of pent-up energy, and they've been wanting to get out here for a long time and experience everything that this park has to offer. And not only that, I think the team has cooperated. The Aces are in first place in AAA West, and they've been a very exciting team to watch and really firing on all cylinders, especially the offense. The other day, even in a loss, we had a lot of excitement. The Aces trailed 10-1 after 4 innings, and they ended up losing 12-11, but they had the winning run in the batter's box at home plate. So everything has kind of aligned. The stars have aligned for it to be a really good time for everybody to be able to come out, be at the ballpark, be with friends and family, and enjoy. So we're going to talk with Eric Edelstein about getting everyone back here. We're going to talk to him as well about the clear bag policy and about the upcoming homestand when the Aces take on the Albuquerque Isotopes, or the AAA affiliate of the Rockies. We're also going to talk with Drew Ellis. He's going to be the centerpiece of our podcast this week. Infielder for the Aces, who has had I don't want to say quite a journey because it's been short, but a very, very interesting journey going from playing at the University of Louisville to getting here to Reno, a second-round pick, 44th overall by the D-backs in 2017. And he has some really interesting thoughts about getting to pro ball and what he went through last year, not being able to be at the alt site with the Diamondbacks. So he's got some very interesting thoughts in the midst of a great year, and we'll talk with Drew Ellis as well. So stick around. We'll have all that on the Aces Loaded podcast coming up next. We are back on the Aces Loaded podcast. Zack Bayrouty joined by Drew Ellis, infielder for the Aces in his first season in AAA. First of all, welcome, and how you doing, man?
Thanks, man. I feel good. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Excited to be playing again. This is a cool city. I haven't been here before.
You've never been to Reno?
City. No, I haven't been. I've been to Tahoe, but I haven't been to Reno.
Different. Reno hits different.
Yeah. So no, cool stadium, cool city, cool vibe. Glad to be here.
What's it been like getting settled in? And I've asked this question like in my 15 years to a lot of players, but I think this year it's so many factors involved in getting comfortable and kind of getting back to normal. What was it like for you getting into spring training and then getting here finally?
For me, man, it was. I think I didn't get to go to the alt site last year. I didn't get to play all of 2020. So just kind of doing whatever, going with the flow, wherever, the season takes me, whatever's going to happen. And just kind of enjoying the ride that comes along with it. Not trying to go out and do too much, but just having fun.
It was, we're recording this, what's today, Monday? So it would have been yesterday. We had Matt Frisbee was pitching for Sacramento, and I was reading a little bit about him, and he was not at the alt site either last year. He was living in North Carolina with his fiance, and there was an article I read that talked about how he literally built himself a home gym. And he tried new pliability exercises to get him, stronger. And he really had to self-motivate when he was so far away from the Giants, and all the gyms are closed. Did you have something similar that you had to do, being so far away and not at the alt site?
Yeah, I think for me it was more mental training than a lot of things. I started to read a little more. I started to journal, and just kind of expand my mind and see how strong I could get mentally. I think that was a big factor in the past, and my first 2 seasons in pro ball, and not really knowing how to handle the ups and downs, because through 140 games there's so many things that can go wrong. and just kind of how to weather the storm a little better. And so not getting the opportunity to go play on the alt site, not getting chosen for that, it was a little blow, but it also kind of motivated me a little bit to, okay, I got to look myself in the mirror and know they didn't choose me for a reason. And what is that reason? I got to go out and I got to get better. I got to do a lot of things that I haven't done before to get better. And so, yeah, it's just kind of like a learning moment for myself. And I kind of pushed everything all in and was like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it with everything I got. And, yeah, it's been fun so far, and I'm excited to keep going.
I have a couple of friends that are into journaling, and I actually have thought about doing it. What did you learn about yourself in that process?
Just kind of like, whatever I read and what I liked in that, I kind of wrote it down, and where I could go back and be like, okay, this is how I was feeling this day, this is how I was feeling, this, and it just kind of helped me grow as a person and kind of figure out who I am and what I want and what I like. And I continue to do it, man, and I'm going to continue to do it just because it helps so much.
Take us through your background. You're from Jeffersonville, Indiana, which is like the southernmost part of the state. But what was it like growing up and getting into baseball in that area?
So my dad played in college. He played at Vincennes, which was a junior college, and then he went to Indiana State. I got to shout out the Sycamores.
The Sycamores. Larry Bird, baby.
Larry Bird, Andy downstairs too. But no,
right,
he played,
Andy Young, yep.
Yeah, so he played in college, and I just always grew up around it. He always coached me. He was my high school coach. Fun fact, he was actually my coach in the Little League World Series in 2008. So that was a really cool experience to have and go there and compete in that. But yeah, we're a baseball family. I got two younger brothers, Ian and Jack, who both play. Ian just graduated, finished. He's going to be a strength coach. So nice. Yeah, like I said, man, it's just a baseball family. We all grew up around it, and it's just a joy to be around on the field with each other.
What was the Little League World Series like? I've actually talked to a couple players that have been there. Yeah. So what's your experience like?
Man, you're a celebrity at 12 years old, and it's crazy. The people treat you like a big league all-star, and it's super cool. It's a little overwhelming sometimes, but at the same time, man, it's unlike any experience that you can have at 12 years old, and to be on that stage on ESPN playing in front of thousands of people is super, super cool.
I remember my Little League, Jesse Burkett in Worcester, Mass. actually got to the Little League World Series, got to Williamsport, and like seeing my little hometown out there on ESPN, and my Little League was out there. It was pretty crazy. In Louisville, you went to Louisville. Yeah. Your second year, you had 20 home runs. You had a pretty big year. What was that season like for you in 2017?
That team was good, and just being on that team and showing up every day with those guys and that locker room was super fun. We just had a winning mentality. We knew we were going to go out there and win. We trusted everything that we did, how we prepared, going into games, and I just think it made it super easy to play. And I just went out there and had fun, and had a really, really good year. Got the opportunity to get drafted by the Diamondbacks, and now we're here.
What was the draft like for you? Go second round of the D-bat. Was it 44th overall?
44th, yeah.
What was that experience like? Did you have an idea that you were going to get drafted that high, and then the actual experience of it? What did that feel like?
Yeah, so for me, it was. I kind of had a feeling that I was going to go on the first night, just talking to my agent and talking to the people around, and I was going to go on the first day, which was the first 2 rounds.
Yep.
And originally we had been in talks with the Red Sox at like pick 62 or whatever, and that was locked in. And then at pick 41 or 42, my agent calls me. He's like, "Hey man, turn on the TV. Like the Diamondbacks are going to take you at 44."
Awesome.
And I was just like, "All right." So we turned it on. MLB Network cuts out. We can't get the TV on, so everybody's panicking, and I'm like, yeah, it's all good. Like we'll get it on. So we end up getting it on at pick 43, and Orlando Hudson comes on. He's with the 44th pick. We pick Drew Ellis, which was
cool, man.
An unbelievable experience. I'll never forget that moment. Just having my family and my teammates there. It was just super, super cool, and you work your whole life for it.
Your first full season was in Visalia. You go to rookie ball in 17, and your first full season in Visalia in 18. I saw you there that entire year. I was with Stockton, so I kind of had an intimate, viewing of what you were going through at the time. And you hit for power. The average, I think it was 246 around there. What was that year like for you, and the adjustment going from college to a league like the Cal League that has, it's a hitter's league, but it also has really good pitching once you get to that level?
Yeah, for me, the adjustment was playing for so long. In college, you play 60 games, maybe, if you go to the World Series and you make it through the tournament.
You played 120 games that
year. We played 120, and so that was just like it was a little overwhelming. And you're playing every day. You don't get many off days. The travel in that league's not bad.
No.
But the hotels kind of stink.
Hotels are tough, man.
And
tough.
Yeah. So there's a lot of external factors that go into it, and that can affect you if you're not mentally tough enough. And I think that for me this year, it was figuring out how to overcome the bad hotels, the crappy food, the whatever it is, the travel. And back then in Visalia, I didn't have that.
Yep.
And it was tough for me to try to play every single day with a lot of external things going on. And this year it's been a lot easier just to go out there and go with the flow, have fun, enjoy it, and not really worry about what's going on off the field.
What was it like to play for Lolly in 2019 with Jackson, a team that won the league?
Yeah.
I've heard, I wasn't around that team, but I've heard stories about how good that team was and how together they were. I guess kind of reminds me of this team in Reno right now. But what was it like playing for Lolly in 19, and what is he like to play for as a manager?
Well, for me, he's a manager he's always got your back, no matter what. And I think that's huge in the clubhouse, knowing that you can go out there, you can play, you can have fun, and you're not going to get, yelled at or taken out of the game for making a mistake. And he can coach you up. He's always going to be there for you, and you never feel like you're on your toes or on your heels with him. And so that team in Jackson was super good just because of how good he was with us. We had a lot of guys who are here today and on this team, and the camaraderie there is super similar to what we have in this clubhouse. So this is going to be a fun team to watch down the road.
Blake said something the other day. Blake Lolly said something the other day at a media availability before a TV game, and he said, I want, if a player's gonna mess up, I want him to mess up here so that we can talk about it and they can learn from it. And I feel like everything you're telling me about Blake kind of reflects that was an honest thing that he said in that moment.
Absolutely. I think it's better to make a mistake here than in the big leagues.
Yeah.
And so while you're down here, he's going to make it fun. He's going to make it enjoyable, but he's also going to teach you and help you out with the things you might not know about the game, or in certain situations, move you here, move you there. So I mean, he's a really good manager, and I love playing for him. And a lot of the guys in the clubhouse would say the same thing.
For me, this being my first year at AAA, the experience is different as far as the players you're around and the stories you tell. I've had to tell a lot of stories about players that have spent a lot of time in the big leagues, and now they're here. I mean, Josh Reddick was here, As a player coming up through the chain, what's it like for you to be around these types of players now, like the Reddicks and guys that have been up there, even guys like Corbin, Corbin Martin, who's been up there and had the experience. How have you kind of tried to relate to them and learn from them?
Yeah, I just kind of listen. I'll ask questions and I'll get their insight on what they think or what they've gone through or what they've been through, and it's just really cool to I got to know Reddick a little bit. Super cool dude, super down to earth, and just loves the game of baseball. And I thought that was super cool. Like, dude's made a ton of money in his career, but just enjoys,
so down to earth.
Yeah, but just enjoys playing the game. And I thought that it's like, man, if this dude can go out there and do that, why can't I? And just talking to the guys who have been there, you got Doc and Corbin and Andy and Varsh and all the guys who have been up in the big leagues. It's just easy to talk to and to just learn from, and to know that one day I'm going to be there, and I'm going to play in there for a while. And just kind of taking that with me, each step of the way.
Does it make you go about your business differently, being around guys of this caliber that are bona fide big leaguers?
I think so. I mean, you're not going to show up and kind of half-ass it, I guess you would say. You're going to show up every day ready to play with those guys, because that's what they're going to do. And being in the big leagues, it's all about winning. And I think that they kind of, Doc and Reddick and Trace, who was here earlier, they just kind of put it out there like, this is a winning team. We're going to win, and we're going to show up and do the work. And just how they go about their business, every day, showing up. They're in the weight room, they're warming up, they're in the cage first, and you can tell, man, that something's a little different, and they've been through it.
Again, it's the Aces Loaded podcast. We're here with Drew Ellis. I didn't plan it this way, but this is kind of funny that we're going to come full circle kind of in the last thing I want to talk about. At Salt Lake, you have that tank job, your first AAA at bat.
Yeah.
First of all, what did that feel like to hit that home run over the video board? I mean, you connected in your first AAA at bat. What was that moment like?
I felt good. Yeah, I wish I could have done it a couple more times that series, but no, it was fun. That Salt Lake's a beautiful place, beautiful stadium, and yeah, it felt good to square that ball up.
Well, then the flip side of it is you have an extended drought after that. I don't know the exact number, 0 for 20-something for your next 20-something. But, you talk about everything that you went through getting ready to be here and the journaling and kind of the self-discovery and getting more mentally tough. Did you lean on that a lot? After you're going through that dry spell, you're probably wondering, hey, when am I going to connect again, even on just a hit, know? What was going through that dry spell like after you had that ridiculous connection in your first at bat?
A lot was going through my head. And just being able to go back and know, like, okay, I did really well on the alt side. What was different between the alt side and this? And a lot of baseball is chasing results, like seeing the ball fall, like getting a hit, seeing that average number on the board go up. A lot of that is part of the game. And I just kind of told myself, like, doesn't matter what that number says, doesn't matter what your number's on the board, doesn't matter how you feel, it matters about what you go out and do and how you react. And I knew that I was going to get going at some point. It was just about weathering the storm and kind of staying here rather than going up and down. And mentally it's tough when you're 0 for 25. And so I just kind of told myself, like, go out there and see if you can hit 4 balls hard. And I think that one day, I don't know, we came back here or something. Maybe it was in Sacramento, and I just felt super, super comfortable.
I know exactly the moment you're talking about.
And I just felt super, super comfortable and was like, all right, here we go. And I think from then on, it's just kind of taken off a little bit.
So you feel comfortable now, you feel good, and do you feel like that dry spell is kind of behind you mentally? Yeah,
I think so. And the crazy thing is there's 100 games left or something crazy, and something like that's going to happen again. It's inevitable. It's baseball. It's a long season. But like I said, it's just about figuring out how to go about it. And when that time comes, how are you going to react to it? Are you going to pout? Are you going to moan? Are you going to, feel sorry for yourself? Or are you going to go out there every day and continue to work and try to get better? And I think that's it for me, man. Is just going out there each and every day, showing up, doing the work, putting the work in, and just trusting that.
Lastly, do you have any goals that you set before this season, or do you do that? I know some players do, some players don't, but do you?
I've got a couple personal goals that I'm going to keep to myself, but obviously the number one is, get to the big leagues, be a big leaguer.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Cheers to that.
All right, thanks, man.
Drew Ellis.
Yeah.
Awesome. We'll be back on the Aces Loaded podcast after this.
Now to our other top story tonight, there will be no ace ball in 2020.
For the first time in the history of minor league baseball, an entire season has been canceled.
This news was expected given the current health crisis. This afternoon's announcement means that we'll not be playing ball this season along with the nearly 160 other minor league teams.
That ball is crushed. How about another 2-home run game?
2-2 on the way from Clark. Swung on at this.
Walker belts one way out of here and gone. Oh, my goodness.
John fly ball to center, chasing Brito back. Socrates racing. He makes the catch.
The throw from Brito is right there, and they got it.
From downtown Reno, welcome back to Greater Nevada Field for another season of Reno Aces baseball.
Welcome to Aces All In here on NSN. My name is Zack Bayrouty. I'm joined by Reno Aces President Eric Edelstein. How you doing, man? Hey, very good. Good to have you here. It's great to be here. Well, finally, right? We're chugging along and into May and through May and into June. Congratulations on actually getting this place open again for what it was designed to do and to have baseball games. But what's it been like just to have the fans back and even when we were not at full capacity to have baseball being played here?
I think we always knew that what we did here is meaningful, and that playing professional sports in a community like Reno is something that we're really lucky and privileged to do, and that was all put on display here through the first month. It's been an emotional roller coaster. There's just so many people who've worked so hard to get it back to a place where we could invite fans in, and it's just been incredible having our fans back and hearing the roar of the crowd again at Greater Nevada Field.
Well, I guess we got to next level on June 3rd, right? We got to 100% capacity, and that's in conjunction with Washoe County health officials What was that process like, and what were those discussions like in trying to get 100% capacity? Because I know that was important, not just for us here, but I think for most professional sports teams.
For sure, it's been a long road, and our business and our venue is very unlike almost every other business in Nevada. And so, we had some very good specific discussions with the state of Nevada, with Washoe County, on specifically what we could do, what we couldn't do, what our needs were, where we felt we were safer or unsafer. They were very, very open and receptive to hearing us out and helping guide us in what they needed so that we could get what we needed. So I can't say enough about the collaboration between the governor's office, the Department of Business and Industry, the Washoe County proper, and the Washoe County Health District. All work together really well to help understand what we needed and give us those clearances as we got to that point as a state.
Walking through the concourse, you see, there are QR codes you can use to look at menus and whatever you want around the ballpark. There's things that we do digitally now that kind of limit, I guess, the passing of papers and, just try and be safer. But how's that all gone?
It's been really great. We didn't waste our time through the pandemic. We really worked hard to advance the experience, to add more technology to Greater Nevada Field, to make this ballpark ready for the next generation. And we've done that by going cashless throughout the entire facility. Digital ticketing, really simple, easy access, eliminating paper tickets, a paper transfer. Our clear bag policy, following a Department of Homeland Defense best practice for stadiums to make your stadium extra safe. Again, limit touching, but also ensure that we know what's in the stadium. We really spent time dialing that in during the pandemic, so that when we emerged, we would be a bigger, faster, stronger, and ready for the next decade of Aces baseball.
In a little bit, I want to touch on the upcoming homestand with Albuquerque, but just one more hit on the clear bag policy. How does it benefit fans? Because there's certain things that fans have to do now to enter venues, but I think in a way this benefits fans. Can you tell us how?
100%. We've added some really awesome new metal detectors, which I don't know if awesome and metal detectors have ever been used together, but they've really
I don't think so.
they've really enhanced the experience of getting people in, allowing us to check very quickly. You don't have to empty your pockets anymore. We can change it to test the right amount of metal for the types of things we don't want, which are the bad things, the things that can hurt people. The clear bag policy follows in the same vein. If we at all times can see through any bag that's in here and know that there are no other bags, then we can ensure that within our gates there is a very, very, very low probability, lower than virtually anywhere else outside your home, that there will be anything that could go negative for a fan, that there could be any experience that could put them in any type of danger. So when you're in the ballpark, we really believe you are in the safest place that you can be outside of your own home because of these safety measures like clear bag.
Well, we hope to have a lot of people in the ballpark for the upcoming homestand. Albuquerque is in town, the AAA affiliate of the Rockies. Big plans. There's 70s night. There's fireworks on Friday. Retro jerseys for 70s night. There's Father's Day, Pride Night. How excited are you for the upcoming homestand, and what are some of the things that are going to highlight it for you?
First of all, I'm thrilled after this 12-gamer to kind of get a week to reset and then to get into a week of a homestand with so many things, with Pride Night on Thursday. The fireworks, man, they were awesome last week.
How cool was that? To see fireworks and fans enjoying fireworks together. It was cool for me, and I've seen a million fireworks shows.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't wait to see it, and we're going to do that again. The Led Zeppelin faux back jersey night, what might a jersey have looked like in the 70s if the
really
Aces
cool
were
jersey.
around. It's a great jersey. I got one on order myself.
Nice.
You're definitely going to want one that the players are wearing. There's just so much happening in this next homestand. And then Father's Day on Sunday, every night is an event, and we know it 100%. Our community is ready for it, and we are going to be ready for them.
Well, I can't say enough about what you and your staff have done to kind of facilitate everything here post-COVID and to get everything ramped up again. You guys done a great job, and hopefully fans come out and see exactly how awesome it is here at the ballpark. Post-COVID, it feels like normal. So, Eric, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you.
We'll be back after this. We're back to close out the Aces Loaded podcast. Thanks so much for listening and for watching. Thanks to Eric Edelstein for coming on and talking about everything going on here at the ballpark, from getting back to full capacity to the clear bag policy, and also the upcoming homestand with the Isotopes. Thanks very much to Drew Ellis for being so open about everything that he's gone through in the last year to get himself here to now be one of the top performers in this ridiculous offense. So thanks to Drew Ellis. Thanks to Vince Ruffino, who produces the Aces Loaded podcast. A reminder that the Aces are going to be back home on the 17th to take on Albuquerque. It's a 6-game homestand. You probably know by now all series are 6 games, so it's a 6-game homestand with the Isotopes. It's going to be 70s night with Led Zeppelin and Jerseys. Pride night, Thirsty Thursday. You have post-game fireworks on Friday. Father's Day on Sunday. There's a lot to look forward to with the upcoming homestand. And for tickets, visit RenoAces.com. We would love to see you at the ballpark. And it's time. We're at full capacity. So come on out, bring your family and friends, and enjoy. And until next time, so long.